third item on your window washing equipment is your drop-through sleeves. And you have two of them, one here and one over there. These are the only ones on the project, on the entire project. These are the only two that you have. Okay, and that's because on this drop here, you have some facade here, certain amount of feet, right? Once you launch, which is why you have a davit here and a davit there, you have a specific reach. But after that, you're gonna have to pull up and under that canopy to get closer to the windows, which are right about like right here somewhere, right? So you're about 8 feet in where you can't reach it if you're hanging from these davits. Okay, now those are meant for unscheduled maintenance, which means they don't anticipate you guys using it on a regular basis. It'll be out of damage or some weird scenario where you have to access that particular area, which it's identified as unscheduled because it's not part of something that will happen in normal operations. Okay, and it is identified on that maintenance manual and the Opus as unscheduled maintenance. You'll see it in nice bold letters where it specifies that for this particular location. Okay, so same scenario applies to your davits. Okay, you will take your davits here, raise them the same way we just went through on the other scenario, raise them up, you have your cables, now you have your spool of cables here, right? This scenario is meant for a ground rig where you have your swing stage down below, right? So what happens is you set up your stage on your davits, you come up and over, down. Okay, you're gonna land your stage because you have a canopy roof down below. You can't go all the way down to the sidewalk. So you're gonna land it on this lower roof below. So what happens once you land it on that lower roof, you're gonna have to unspool your cables out. Okay, you take your cables out of your stage and you leave your stage parked right on that roof. Then when we come into having your third or fourth guy, right here, that person is responsible for pulling those cables up. Okay, so if you're about 75 feet worth of cable, then the guy up here is pulling 75 feet worth of cable twice because you have two cables, right? The cables that we're using right now are 100 feet, 120 feet, okay? So usually you want to give yourself that little extra because you want to make sure you safely land on the ground in case of an emergency. So you want to have enough spool to get down to that area, right? So you pull the cables up. Now you have your cables here set up the same way we demonstrated on the other side. You remove your cap, stainless steel cap. Looks like a little nice water bowl, okay? Stays in place. Once you have your spool of cables here, all you're doing now is feeding the cables straight down. You don't have to unhook anything. You don't have to drop your davit down. You don't have to do any of that. The same cables that you just pulled up, all you're doing now is aligning your trolley with this drop. That's why your trolley is unlocked. Remember, we'll pull the trolley, get ourselves right about here, drop the cables down. So now your persons down below can start feeding those same cables right back into the engine hoist. Okay? You feed it right back into the motors, and now you're good. You do the same thing for that area over there. What that does now is these pass-through sleeves, not drop-through, these pass-through sleeves now get you closer to that unscheduled area that you needed to go to, because if you had your arm way out here, that 8'6" reach puts you way out of reach. This brings you 4 feet closer to where you need to be, where now you're at hand's reach from that facade down in front of you. Okay? Any questions here on this part? Okay? Once you're complete with this system and you're done, you want to make sure that you put this cap back. Okay? Install it, feed it in. It's just a rubber gasket that you see here, right? What that does is when you start turning on this lock here, it's going to expand it, and that locks it in place. Okay? If you forget to do it, what's going to happen if it's rainy season, you're going to have students coming in and out of that doorway down below, and this is going to just shoot straight down. Okay? The water is going to be pouring down that. So all you do is make sure you have that in there. Put that cap in place and you're good. Most of the time you're not even going to touch these. Okay, but they're there and that's what you have. Any question on this part? Nope. All right. That's that for your drop through or pass through sleeves.